Bitch!
Welcome to the Unimaginary Friendcast. This is episode 311. And this is a conversation with your best friends. We are those best friends I speak of.
I'm Nathan Von Edmondson.
I'm Erin Marie Betty Davis Jr.
And I'm Demoxys Don Moccason. I forgot my name. Go, just go. Just walk away. Go.
Brunch. I hope everyone's got their
Mimosas.
their omelets and waffles and
I'm drinking.
ooh. So today we have an episode similar to the format that we did with Elon Musk on our last podcast. It's the piece of shit versus the shit challenge. And we put a poll out to our listeners to choose between Madonna and Oprah. Oprah did win. It was like a 60-30. Well, that doesn't add up to be 100. Let's say 60-40. I don't know. Some people just didn't vote. Because Madonna's going on tour again. I know she's very controversial, especially amongst this particular friend group here. But Oprah won. So we're going to dive into Oprah. I know she's a demigod.
Can we consider that winning? Did she win?
She won the privilege of being challenged. Yes. So here we are on this beautiful Saturday. 50 plus degrees in Philly. The Eagles are playing in the NFC Championship tomorrow. We're feeling good. Well, I'm not really feeling good. I'm sick, but that's okay. It's not really okay because we leave the country on Monday and I have to take this with me.
Sounds like news you're getting into.
No.
Oh, no.
Whining.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that why we have this podcast? So we can whine?
Apparently.
100.
Well, speaking of news, what is your news, everyone? What's going on?
I'll go first.
Okay. Well, okay.
You can go first, David. Sounds
No.
Go first.
No. I want you to go first.
No. Too late. You interrupted. That sounds like an urgent need to share your news.
No, mine's going to be long. Are you all right? I'll go first, but mine's long. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I discovered this new series of films that are hysterical. They're crazy. They're like stupid, crazy, stupid humor. Like
Scary
kind of
movies?
like
The Scary Movie series?
no, they're set in Philadelphia. So you guys know that I'm kind of like from Philadelphia now, right? Sort of.
Sort of honorary.
Oh my God, they're the dumbest, stupidest, like laugh out loud movies I've ever seen in my life. And I had to watch all of them recently. Have you heard of them? They're called Rocky. The first one was Rocky. All right. I'm bringing this up because if we want to blame Donald Trump for the stupefaction of America, we have to go back further and blame Sylvester Stallone and the Rocky movies. They are the dumbest set of movies, and one of the messages is that America is the best. Another message is a white man will always beat a black man, even if a white man is borderline retarded, no discernible boxing skills, walks into every clinch with his face and gets punched in the face and knocked down for 14 rounds. He's still going to beat the black guy. It doesn't matter. So that's all. America, the myth of America is based on blind ignorance and just stupid faith. And we have Sylvester Stallone and Rocky to thank for it. All of them.
And I think it's like, not that I can speak differently because I didn't see Rocky until I was much later in my life, but I think it's hard to judge like those old movies, and you had to like see them in the time that they came out, or roughly around that period, to have a certain appreciation for them. Like I don't think Rocky's the best movie that's ever been made, but I tried to watch it as the iconic film that it became and try to see why. And I don't know. I think it was cool to see Philly for one, but I don't think I'd be one to like defend it as a great film, but I don't know. I feel like it's not fair to say it's a total piece of shit.
It is fair because I said it. And second of all, I will say this, though. The first Rocky did well for a number of reasons, and I can go into them later. But it's really interesting coming from that time and seeing it. But Sylvester Stallone's acting in the first movie was good. I was surprised to see that. It was really good in the first film.
I expected you to say that.
He was that character, but this is one thing that pisses me off about Americans too, is Americans love to be forcibly ignorant. Rocky is just a ripoff of On the Waterfront. That's all it is. And I don't understand why they're like, this screenplay is amazing. The screenplay is not that great. But the thing that made it a hit is Sylvester Stallone and his acting. He was that character and he did a good job.
Yeah, I think.
Wow. Okay, I would not argue for that, but
Yeah, I agree with that assessment, David. I would say one thing I've learned is that anyone can have their own opinions about films. I've given up trying to convince people that certain films are good or bad because it's subjective, right? It's totally subjective. However, David, your assessment of the Rocky franchise has probably just canceled your honorary Philly membership.
But wait a minute. This is why I don't understand why people in Philly are so proud of it. He's so not Philly. That's the thing that struck me too, is because I thought I'd watch it and be like, oh, Philly. He's so New York. There is nothing Philly about him. The only thing Philly about him is he runs through different areas. And as a Philly person, didn't it crack you up? Because it's like when you grow up in LA, you see how ridiculous they show LA. Like, because someone will be like running on the beach and then they'll walk from the beach like to the Beverly Hills Hotel. And that's kind of what happened in Rocky too. It's like, wait, I was there and I was there. Like, he can't go from there to there. Like, that didn't happen.
I mean, that's film, right? Like, they're not gonna. It's
Totally.
like how I always have beef with TV shows and movies when they have conversations that are deep and important, and then someone says something really, really intense, and then they just walk away, and they don't.
They don't say goodbye, or
it's just like they just part ways. Like, that never happens in real life. But Nathan pointed out very smartly when I was complaining about that during, I think, an episode of SVU, where the guy gave the facts and just left. Nobody was like, wait. They just don't have time to do all the pleasantries and all that stuff, and so they got to the places.
Yeah,
but it might have been interesting. I imagine, having just visited Philly, and we were down at the Italian market, and we were we ran up the stairs, and so you probably recognize a lot of these places.
I think it was interesting, and it was interesting to see that they're the same as they were 50 years ago when the movie was shot. That was interesting.
To a degree. What's great is when you watch that scene where he runs up the stairs and the camera pans around and you see the city. It's like it's a time capsule what the city used to look like in the 70s, because the skyline does not look like that anymore.
The skyline doesn't.
Yeah, so it's really fascinating to see that turnaround. I just love that from that era, because it's just a slice of time. But I'm kind of surprised you didn't bring up what I think is. Someone else recently pointed this out to me because they had seen it for the first time recently. There's a scene where, because the movie, it's a fight movie, but it's really a love story about him and Adrian. And she's a really devastatingly shy character. Just like, her brother's verbally and emotionally abusive, and she's just kind of been beat down. And what's beautiful is Rocky just really likes her, and he pulls her out of her shell, and she resists. And there's one scene where that's very apparent, which is really uncomfortable to watch by today's standards, where he brings her up to his room and she wants to leave, and he pretty much, I don't want to say he forces himself on her, but
it's kind of rapey. No, it's kind of rapey.
It feels a little rapey. And I think if that scene couldn't be shot today, and if you take the characters and look at who she is, and it's part of her resistance is partially I don't want to say her shyness or her being beaten down by her brother and her circumstances, but I feel like I'm defending rapiness, like a rapey scene, but there is a angle through the characters through which it isn't as rapey as it comes across. So I'm surprised you didn't point that scene out, but I mean, I think it won best won best screenplay at the Oscars.
No, believe me, when that scene came up, because he wouldn't let her out of his apartment. He put his hand on the door. It was creepy. It's creepy, and it kind of speaks to the man that he is. Like, a man can solve anything. All he has to do is kiss a woman, and then, because that's what happens, is he kisses her, and then she loves him, and then it's over. So the screenplay is not great. What you said the love story between them and their acting, that's what's great. The rest is bullshit and stupid. And I don't understand why it won Best Screenplay, because the screenplay, like I said, is a ripoff of On the Waterfront, and it's not good. There's so many stupid things in it, like why he got chosen. You have to see those scenes again, why he got chosen to fight the champion of the world. It's just stupid. But I want to end off on this. The reason why it's so stupid is like seeing it from a lens of today's culture, of people dismissing evidence and science and facts. People watch the Rocky movies, and that was their education on American. Like, yeah, we're going to win. Like, Americans will win. White people will always win. That's what has caused the Trump society. I'm telling you, that has taught people.
David, that's actually the first. He doesn't win in the first film. He loses in the first film. He goes to the distance.
Yeah.
All to do, and then then Apollo wins. The judges choose Apollo. And what's so beautiful about that moment is all he's caring about in that moment is he went the distance, and then he just wants to be with Adrian, and he's calling for Adrian. It's so poignant and emotional. It's such a beautiful moment.
I don't want to cut this off, but we are on borrowed time with a sleeping baby.
All right, I just want to finish that up really fast. It would have been a more poignant moment if the fight wasn't so stupid, because he gets hit in the face. Literally, I counted 112 times, gets knocked down. And he gets hit in the face in ways that later on, when Apollo Creed gets hit in the face that way, he dies. So it's just like, it's so stupid. And I will say this, though, that
if you've seen anything from that, what happened with the NFL, that Buffalo Bills player, like shit can happen just randomly. Yeah. Like, how many people get tackled at every single game? This guy gets tackled, goes into cardiac arrest. Like, it just can happen, you know?
It can happen. It can happen.
You can justify it at least.
All right. But I will say that Sylvester Stallone was better actor than I thought he would be in that first movie. The rest of the movies, no. The direction, the writing, the acting is bad. But anyways, that's all. I blame Rocky. Hashtag I blame Rocky. Continue.
You want to go next?
Oh, sorry. It's your guys' turn. I'm sorry. I told you it would be long. I'm really sorry.
No, it's okay. I'll try to keep mine really brief. So I recently listened to some podcasts, interviews with this guy, Peter Zeihan, and he's an American geopolitical analyst, author, and speaker. He analyzes data from geography, demographics, and global politics to understand economic trends and make predictions. And I've just been fascinated with this guy. One, because he just seems to know so much about how the world works, like just the practicality of how things are made and where they're made and why things are made certain places. And it's just really fascinating. So his job is basically making predictions for think tanks and other people, and he's an author as well. But he talks about where we are now and where things are going, and he talks about these last 75 years as this really unique time where things have been really great. And then his dire predictions for China are just like, you always thought that China was just going to keep growing and there were going to be billions and billions of people, but their population is like falling off a cliff right now. And his prediction in the next 10 or 20 years is that China is just kind of not going to be a player at all anymore. Maybe not even a solid universal government at all. It's just really fascinating hearing what this guy has to say in his evidence. I would be very surprised if that
were true.
Yeah, well, it's really just based on demographics. It's based on population.
But they're like a little smarter than we are, just overall.
Can you say his name one more time, Nathan?
Peter Zeihan. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that. It's like Zeihan.
Like, even the fact that they regulate TikTok for their kids because they know it's melting people's brains, and they just let Americans have it. Like, they're smart. They're smarter than us.
It's not to say that there isn't some smart moves going on. It's more of, like I said, a demographic thing where with communism, and the growth that they were able to do so quickly, they haven't been replacing their population in a way that you need to be sustainable.
But there's just so many. Like, it's like, even if they lose like certain millions of people, it feels like you're still going to be okay. We only have 300 million people in this country. And it's way too many. It feels like they're at 1 billion.
I'm not saying he's right or wrong.
Yeah.
He has a very convincing argument. I don't want to get into defending it because we only have so much time. We have to get into the main topic. But
Can I just say one thing about that? Having dealt with China over the last 30 years, like directly through manufacturing and stuff, China is not what you think. Like the way it's presented to us, it's been a mess forever. And they have horrible, really bad problems, like keeping it together. So it rings true to me what he's saying. They're not, and if they finally ever, for some reason, they are afraid to revolt. Well, not for some reason, because they get killed. But if they ever decide to revolt, the people revolt, the government is going down quick. Like it can't sustain 1 billion people revolting if they ever get their shit together. It's kind of like what we're seeing in Russia now. More and more people are revolting and seeing. So, and China is seeing more and more of the West, and like, you know, because of Apple and the stuff that they manufacture, that caused a lot of problems. Once the Chinese people saw what they were manufacturing for the rest of the world, they started to get uppity.
You mean coronavirus?
And coronavirus.
They manufactured that for the whole world. Thanks, guys.
But anyways, what Nathan said. Oh, sorry. What Nathan said resonates with me because it's true. And Sorry.
One thing he said about coronavirus that I thought was fascinating is they've been on such lockdown recently, but this is the first time where they've opened up and there's just coronavirus just like spinning through the population.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes, I think he said something like 6 months for us to really know how it's going to affect that population and other populations. Like how can we prepare for it? But China isn't even gathering data on what's happening. So there's no way for us to know how bad it is.
Oh,
which
wow.
is terrible. So it could be,
or they're just not sharing the data if they are.
His assessment was that they're not even collecting data at this point.
I mean, it's even hard. Like, I don't even think the United States is really well, they're probably collecting data, but it's extremely inaccurate at this point because everyone's home testing or not testing. So they have no idea how rampant it is through the population now. So when I hear that there's like, oh, there's a really contagious strain, that's like, there's a lot of people in the hospital for it. You know, it's like 10 times bigger than what they're actually reporting because no one is reporting. Did you report your COVID last week, David?
To report it to who?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. We didn't with
Big
ours
brother.
either. So
Big brother, David.
Yeah. No, I don't have time for that shit.
So
I'm bored.
The reflection on this is hard. It's like trying to collect data on the common cold at this point.
I'm bored with COVID. I'm over it.
Yeah, aren't we all? All right. Well, I feel like there's okay. My news is shocking because no one would ever think this of me, but I recently just got a random piqued curiosity in Harry and Meghan. And I was curious to see what they had to say in their Netflix documentary series.
Uh-oh.
I've never really looked twice at the royal family or them especially or anyone. It just hasn't been my interest. But for some reason there was a lot of buzz around it, of course, but I was like, I'm just curious to see what this is all about. And I'm just sharing my news that I think it's really well done and really interesting. I'm really into it. I'm like halfway through it now. So.
I think we should do a future piece of shit on Harry and Meghan because
I would that because I have a very strong opinion of them at the moment.
You need to read behind the scenes because they have lied about most of the stuff they said. And the thing that I found out is she said that the royal family was reluctant on their relationship. Fucking Queen Elizabeth was 100% behind it, launched it, spent $32 million on their fucking wedding, and gave her a $50,000 wedding dress. So Harry and Meghan keep going, leave us alone, we need our privacy. And they keep talking shit about the rest of the family and bringing out their... So I think we should talk about this because
you know why they're doing that? Because they've been absolutely like ass wiped through the press. So they're trying to tell their side of the story.
The press has absolutely the press in England
about their story is less about them and more about how the media and the royal family, how they function and how big of a thing it is. And we've never ever had an inside look at that until now. And even if you hate them and they're lying about everything, still the inside look at how the press functions and what a relationship that is. And how those kids, how Diana's kids grew up and expected to perform in front of the media. And there's all these like relationships that have to be upheld. And if they don't perform properly, they're going to get smeared. They're going to find stories. And so it's real. I thought the media aspect of it was really interesting.
100%. I agree with you there. The media across the boards, not only with Harry and Meghan, but the media around the world is just ridiculous, and it's out of control now, and it's stupid. And we need to revolt against the media. Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Oh, okay, good.
We have about maybe 25, 30 minutes to talk about Oprah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So we'll just go, we'll bang it out. The good, the bad, and then we
do
vote.
the gold star.
All right,
Oh,
you have
star.
2 minutes to do the gold star.
Jay Whiffy.
Who's that?
In 2 sentences, go.
I don't even know if I'm pronouncing his name correctly. Jay, you remember the big snowstorm that hit Buffalo, New York area in December?
Yeah.
And there were all these people that died. He rescued over 20 people. Over 20 people are alive because of this guy. So he went out one night, I think day before Christmas Eve, to help his friend. His car broke down and he was stuck outside. He had $500 in his wallet. He was realizing that he was going to freeze to death in his car. So he was trying to go to houses and like ask if he could just sleep on the floor, and people wouldn't let him in. They were
Really?
Like, yeah. So he ended up sleeping in his car. He ran across, I think, 2 other people, brought them into his car. They slept in his car that night. And then he ran out of gas. So the next morning, and people were like stuck. Like it was just a terrible snowstorm. People couldn't help each other. There was a school about 600 feet away. He convinced them to go with him and break in because there would be heat and there would be food in the kitchen. And then he proceeded to go around and like save people. And he saved over 20 people. And then he left a note when he finally left the school. He left a note that was like, sorry, I had to break in. Like we were going to die. We needed food. I knew there was heat here. And there are all these people who needed food and bathrooms and stuff like that because they ran out of fuel. So he's just been declared a hero and has received like 2 tickets to the Super Bowl. It's just such a heartwarming story, given the news that we've been subjected to the last 10 years. Anyway, Jay, he's our gold
Good
star.
job, bud. We need more
That's
people
awesome.
like
Congratulations, Jay Whitey.
I don't know his name, but the guy who stopped the mass shooter at the dance clubs
That's a good
at
one.
Monterey Park.
Yeah, that would have been a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, we can give out 2.
What's his name?
I don't know his name.
All right, maybe we can save that for next time. Maybe he'll get it next time if Aaron remembers.
We'll see. We'll see if we can figure out his name.
Yeah, there's no way to know. All right, Oprah.
Oprah Wintergreen.
So for people that didn't listen to the last episode, we have a challenge where we look at all the good things and all the bad things of a particular influential figure, and we ultimately decide, with your help, especially if there's live stream listeners, they can chime in, let us know whether or not this person is the shit or a piece of shit. And we decided no in between.
There's no.
Yeah. And we're like, what is it going to be, a turd? Or I don't know what that would be. So it's just.
Ew.
We did decide, spoiler, if you didn't listen, Elon Musk got a piece of shit crown. I think it was deserved. It was a tough vote. And I think Oprah's interesting. What? It was.
It wasn't a tough vote. We went, hey, what do you think? And Nathan went, piece of shit. And Aaron went, piece of shit. And I go, okay, piece of shit.
That's not how it went. Because there were lots of interesting things he did that were potentially beneficial to humanity that we had to consider.
Potentially, yeah. All right, you're right.
Oprah, it's funny because it's like, why would we even put her through this challenge? Isn't she like the perfect version of humanity?
Well, I'm glad you said that, because the reason I wanted to is I started seeing things in social media about why she was a piece of shit and why she was shady.
Because that we got all of our research from social media, everyone. So it's 100% accurate.
Well, when every once in a while, sometimes when someone starts trending that way, you start seeing it where there's smoke, there is fire. But we're going to see if there's fire here today.
Yeah. Do we want to, before we dig into this, I know we probably have our own opinions from our own ideas of her and our own research, but do we want to really quick, if we had to vote right now, not knowing any of the things?
Oh, let's do a pre-vote. Yeah, okay.
Because I would vote right now, not knowing what I'm about to know, what you guys have brought to the table, is I would guess that she's the shit. Based on the little that I did know about her, at least.
I would agree.
David?
Yes, I would have thought that, well, yeah, she's Oprah, like she's an American institution, but is she full of shit? That's what my first thought was. Is she full of shit? Is she another Ellen DeGeneres? Is she another Harvey Weinstein? Because that's what I saw too, is I
still like Ellen. I'm sorry. I know she was a jerk, but go on.
All right, so here's the deal. The first thing, I'm going to go with the bad things first, and you guys can list your bad things too. The first thing is, a lot of times she just has PR gimmicks, like the Harry and Meghan thing, where she'll have someone on, give them a platform, and she doesn't question them too far, and then we start to believe that story that was presented. Like, she's not really a journalist. She just gives people a platform, and then we believe that story. Where we find out that... What?
The pushback on that, does she have to be a hard-hitting journalist?
She doesn't, but when you do that, you become a PR machine, and that story is the one that people start believing when you don't question them on it, when you just take them at their word. Like Anderson Cooper, sometimes he's not that much of a hard-hitting journalist, but sometimes he'll have people on and he'll be like, well, you're saying this now, but you said this last time. Like, he'll question them on it, and then he'll try to get to the real story. Whereas Oprah just kind of has her friends on, and she just takes their story, and that becomes the story.
News versus entertainment personality. So I feel like like I wouldn't hold her to that standard. I guess I wouldn't ask her to be like a CNN reporter.
Well, the three of us wouldn't, but what I'm saying is America starts to believe that story. There's a huge portion of America. It's like with the Rocky movies, that becomes their education. Like, oh, Meghan and Harry are this way. That's all I'm saying, is that she will have her friends on, give them a platform, and then people start to believe whatever is said during that hour that she interviews them.
I guess
that's all.
Have to push back, because we have, like, they wanted to be able to tell their side of the story, and they created the space to do it. Now, like, we as viewers, just like, we should be responsible for whether or not we take them at their word or not. You know,
we should.
It's more on the viewer than on Oprah.
100% we should, but do you trust America to do that? No. Of
course not. But like, I guess it's just, I'm just saying that I'm not blaming Oprah for that, because one thing I did find with, like, I had trouble finding really bad things about her, but a lot of it was like her just giving platforms to people that suck, like Dr. Phil, Dr. Oz, Jenny McCarthy, like the whole autism, like anti-vax thing. And it's not that she's on there being like great, but she is like giving these people, like, lifting them up in that way.
Yeah. She gives them a platform, and she doesn't push back, which with the Jenny McCarthy thing, I kind of blame her, because she should have done her research. I don't know if you know this, but after Jenny McCarthy did that, there was a huge surge in things like measles and mumps, because women were like, yeah, we're not going to vaccinate our kids because Oprah said not to. They quoted Oprah when it was Jenny McCarthy saying it. So I'm glad you said that, because I brought that up too. It's like, yeah, she gives people a platform, and she doesn't push back or question them when she should. That's her responsibility because she is a role model. Oprah might be one of the biggest role models in our country. And if she doesn't say anything, it's kind of on her too.
I think also too, though, like bringing Dr. Oz up through the ranks, for example, I don't think it's on Oprah to, like, I think he evolved into the shithead that he became more than just was an absolute piece of shit when she met him. And he's like charming. He has a legitimate background in healthcare. He's actually a really impressive neurosurgeon. So they're like, why wouldn't you trust him? You know, and like, like I said, she's not this like 2020 reporter that's going to dive into everything, but she's like, this guy's got legitimate background. And I think over the time, like with the power that he's gotten and the popularity he's gotten his own show, I think he kind of like went off in crazy directions. So while I think that like she is responsible technically for some of these folks, I don't blame her, I guess.
Yeah, she probably vetted his content when he was a guest on her show.
Yeah.
My guess is that she's a producer on his show, though.
I don't know.
I don't know if that's true or
Yeah.
not. I assume
She is.
But then when you
She
have
is.
so much content that you're creating because he's the host, that's where you can run off the rails. But again, it's like, yeah, I would definitely give her a strong mark if she's a producer of that show for allowing
She is.
to propagate such terrible information that he got sued for and had to pay fines for, I believe, right?
Yes, absolutely. She is, and she has continued to endorse him.
Her company was a producer, but then you also have to like, yes, she is responsible for.
There's a giant mountain lion in their house. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Like, yes, she ultimately the buck stops at her, right? She's responsible for.
Right.
But she's not like watching every Dr. Oz episode and like reading the research, you know?
No, she's not.
Like her specifically.
Yeah. She hasn't, but she has endorsed both of them throughout their careers. And her company does produce theirs.
Oz back when she endorsed his opponent in the election. So
she did that eventually.
That felt like such a like small blip though. You know, she like launched this guy's career, and then there's like, oh, she made a statement that you should vote for the other guy.
But is she responsible for politics? Like everyone wants her to run for office. She's made it clear that she doesn't want to.
All right, let's forget about Oz and Dr. Phil. But when she gave the platform to Jenny McCarthy, not just once, more than once, and she never questioned her on it, and because of that, people decided not to vaccinate. She knows she's a role model. We all know she's a role model. Let me put it to you guys. If it was you guys and you knew you would have influence over people with their children, what would you do?
I would follow the evidence. I would make sure that what's being presented is accurate and true. It doesn't mean you can't have dissenting opinions, but you need to have both sides of the story in something that important.
And I will answer for Erin because we're like twins. Erin is Miss Evidence-Based. If she's sitting there listening to Jenny McCarthy, when the words come out of Jenny McCarthy's mouth, she's going to be like, what is your evidence?
I get that because that would be me. But like, just, I guess I'm like not trying to give a pass to entertainment because they need to be accountable for bad things that happen. But you know, Oprah is just like handed the card, like, here you go. Here's your guest today. Here are the questions. Go. Like, I just like, if we're talking about her as a human being, like if she's a morally good human being or not, like, I guess we'll never know behind the scenes if she was like, what, this lady, this was bullshit. Like, why don't we say anything? And everybody told her she couldn't, or maybe she's just like, I don't have time.
Tell Oprah she couldn't. I don't think that's a thing to tell Oprah she can't do something.
Like, I'm like hypothesizing because like I don't know what she believed or what she knew or you know what her intentions were with having some of these guests on.
It's hard to know what the circumstances were right at that moment because if you know that was probably the biggest anti-vax voice at a time, right? At a time when there was really not a lot of coverage on that. So just the fact that was happening, that someone is being so vocal about it, is the story. So she was jumping on that story, I would imagine, right? Like, oh, here's someone who's saying all these things that that isn't even in the conversation, but it's blown up right now. So we have to cover
celebrity
it.
Too.
Right, and it's a celebrity. And
I agree with what you guys are saying. I don't think she had any evil intentions, but I do think she is accountable for what she has on her program, especially in the later years, like when Jenny McCarthy was on. In the 80s, maybe she didn't have control, but in the later years, I'm sorry, Oprah was queen of the universe. She is accountable for what's on her program. And she knows already that she's a role model because she has so many programs like Oprah's Favorite Things and Oprah's book show or whatever, where she knows people are going to follow her and she knows she makes careers. She's accountable for what's on her show. I'm just saying that.
Yeah. I just wonder too, I wasn't conscious of news at that time, but I wonder what the climate was like with that. Like it seemed like a lot of people latched on to like there's doubt, even if it's like the science isn't quite there's doubt now. And like I feel like that needs to be vetted, you know, if there's ever doubt, like let's hear what the doubts are. Now we found out that it was, you know, crap science, but when and how long did that take to like trickled down. I don't know any of that because I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't
Yeah.
conscious at the time.
Yeah. All right. And like you said, it was really hard to find. That's the worst thing I could find about Oprah. The other things I was going to chase down, I was like, ooh, I'm going to find something really good. There was smoke, and that people said, oh, she was really good friends with Harvey Weinstein and she supported him and da-da-da. What I found out was she made a movie with Harvey Weinstein. She took some publicity pictures with Harvey Weinstein. She didn't love Harvey Weinstein. And when the accusations came out, she said she didn't know, and she turned on him and said, yes, if he did these things, we need to hold him accountable. That's all. Like, I thought there was going to be a big thing there, and that's all that happened.
Okay. Yeah.
Did you find anything more? Like, did she actually
Not about that.
support?
No.
All right. And then Jeffrey Epstein, there was a whole thing, like people like, she's trafficking young girls for Jeffrey Epstein and da 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 da. There's not one shred of evidence that she even spent much time. She met Jeffrey Epstein, but there's not even a shred of evidence that she spent much time with him.
Yeah.
But there's tons of evidence that Bill Clinton and Donald Trump partied with him and were on his plane and traveled with him and went to his private island. So there's another thing where there's smoke and no fire.
Yeah.
And I couldn't find, there's only one other thing I could find bad about her, but go ahead. Did you find anything bad about her?
Not really. Like I said, the only thing I found was the people that she interviewed, like people not agreeing with people she interviewed. Which, like I said, I'm still struggling to determine like how much blame she gets for that. Some, but I don't think it's enough to give her a piece of shit title.
I agree. I think that she has accountability.
Like I said, I'm going to say it one more time. Like if she were an anchor on like, I keep saying CNN because I can't think of any other networks, like any of the major news networks. Like there's no excuse. Like at that point, like you have to push and you have to get both sides of the story. Like it has to be fair and balanced. But like these daytime entertainment shows, it's like I don't know. It's just
entertainment. Yeah, it's a talk show.
Yeah, there's just different standards for sure.
She is kind of like promotes some like weird spiritual stuff sometimes. Like she promoted the book The Secret, like made a big deal out of that. Do you know what that secret is? The secret is?
Yeah, the secret.
If you positively think about the thing you want in your life, it'll manifest. So it's like manifestation stuff, which, you know, people can argue about
it's
the
like
depths of how
show me
valid
the
that is
evidence
or
that's
not.
wrong.
Yeah, it's kind of, so she kind of goes into the, what I would call like woo-woo stuff a little bit, leans into that a bit. It's not to say that if you think positively, positive things won't happen. But some of the stuff again, it's like, what is she pushing on her show? But it is entertainment, so it's like
and also like she might just be a little woo woo herself.
I think she is.
Well, is that
a bad thing? Like I feel like some of the woo woo people I know are like some of the happiest people I know.
Well,
what about Stedman and Gayle?
There's no evidence. I mean, like, even if she is a lesbian with Gayle, who cares? That doesn't make her a good or bad person. If Stedman is her beard, that doesn't make her a good or bad person. It's none of my business. There's no evidence. I don't think it matters. I don't know. What do you guys think? Oh, the only thing I will say that matters is when she was interviewed about Gayle, someone asked her point blank, "Are you and Gayle in a relationship?" And she started crying. Why? Why do people say that? And it's like, wait a minute. That kind of gave me pause where I was like, what the fuck is this all about? Like, so I think that she might be a little cuckoo in the cabeza, but go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I didn't see that. It must be annoying though, because they met when they were like 14 or something. Or I don't know. They were really young and they've been friends however old Oprah is now. So like 50 years. Yeah. And like to have 50 years of press just beating down whether or not your best friend is a lesbian with you, it's like, I don't know, maybe that is really fucking frustrating. Where you're like, God damn it, why can't we just be close friends?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if that was what was going through her mind or not, but that might be what was going through my mind.
Let's put a known lesbian, Erin Marie Betta Davis Jr., in Oprah's shoes, and let's say her best friend is Dr. Banana. And over 50 years, the press made fun of you being lesbians. I know for a fact it would be an inside joke between the two of you, and you would laugh about it. I don't think that you would cry once you were asked about it on TV. Why do people keep saying me and Anna, Dr. Banana are lesbians? I think you'd laugh and be like, I don't know where that came from. Yeah, she's my lesbian lover. Get over it. And that would be it. Right?
After the 4,000th time, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's true. That's
It
true.
might just be like enough where you're finally like,
I guess it's it points to the fact that people should be allowed to have their privacy and their private life, no matter what those dynamics are between that triad or who knows who else. I mean, they could have a very unique relationship set up. Who knows? So who's
like you said, David, like who cares?
Yeah, I agree. It has nothing to do with whether she's a piece of shit or not. Her relationship with Galen Stedman.
But the list of like how accomplished this woman is absolutely.
Wait a minute. I have one more thing, and then we're gonna get to that. Just wait. There's one more thing, because recently the other thing that I thought that there was smoke here, but there's not, is Howard Stern talked about how she likes to flaunt her wealth and rub it in people's faces when people are struggling. And so I was like, oh, maybe there's something here. And he said it's her Instagram. Like, she likes to post things on her Instagram to like really stick it to people. I went to her Instagram. She posts things from her house. Her house is beautiful. Her yard is beautiful. Some of the people she knows are famous. She posts cute things. I don't think it didn't look to me like she was trying to rub it in people's faces and make them feel bad. To me, it looked like representation. It looked kind of inspirational, where it's like, we didn't have, like, now we do, but when Oprah started, we didn't have these fabulously influential, wealthy Black women or anybody but white people being fabulously influential and inspirational. That's what it looks like to me. It looks like good representation. I think she should keep doing it, because it's like, wow, like, if she can achieve that, this poor Black girl, I mean, she's not poor Black anymore, but when she was, I mean, she said she grew up very poor. And I don't know if you know this, but Oprah was Black when she was a child. Anyways, there was no fire there either. It just was like, yeah, she's just posting things from her house. Like, get over it.
Yeah, I mean, that moves into kind of what I was saying, is like, she is the first African-American woman billionaire, for one, and like, can we celebrate that?
I think so. Well, you guys hate billionaires, but now you like them because they're Black.
I don't know. I guess like when we're comparing billionaires, it just seems to be so many skeletons in so many people's closets until you hit Oprah, and you're like, and then look at her resume and all the shit that she's done. It's like mind blowing how much she's accomplished. What, David?
Just one more second. I before you get in there, because I do want to get into that. I just want to say one more bad thing, and then we're going to go on to her accomplishments. We're talking about the woo-woo. We're talking about the secret. When she sells a certain product that I think is actually bad, where she has quotes with things like, anything you can imagine, you can create. And when she says shit like that with her brand and with her representation and everything, I think that's actually very damaging. Because when people imagine something and they work hard and it doesn't come to fruition, they internalize it, and they think, and being part of a cult, I know this, because that is a cult. There is an Oprah cult. There absolutely is. And when you say these things that aren't true, it's not true that anything you can imagine, you can create. Because she herself, I don't know if you guys were old enough for this. In the 80s, she lost weight and then she gained it all back. And she was very upset. She did a program. She's like, I couldn't do it. I couldn't maintain that weight.
What she did, she only had liquids. She only had liquids for 4 months. I don't know if this was the time that happened, because she's lost weight and gained weight over the years. But she went on this like crazy ass liquid diet, and when she started eating food again, she just ballooned up, because she absolutely destroyed her metabolism. Like, there just wasn't the information or science available to her.
But what I'm saying is, even she could not create the thing that she could imagine. So it's like, there are things you can imagine that you cannot create. I don't care who you are. So stop saying things like that. like, because it's very damaging. It makes people feel like failures, and it actually hurts people, and it makes, anyways, that's all. That's the one part of her that I think needs to be changed, and I would like to have a talk with her, because even I saw the show on The Secret, and they were like, anything you can imagine, you can have it. She's like, I did that. I did The Secret because I knew that I'd be a big success, and I am. So, oh my God, it works, everybody. And it's like, stop with that shit. Stop.
David, if Oprah can't peddle positive messages to make people feel hopeful and better, who can?
There's okay, positive messages are over here, and saying you can create anything you want is over here. There's a huge chasm in between. Yes, positive messages, be positive, stay focused, all that stuff, but not you can achieve anything you can imagine. That is wrong. It's wrong and bad.
I don't know. Prove to me, show me the evidence that is wrong.
Oprah said it herself. I cannot maintain a thin body. She said it. She cried. I can't do it. I tried. No one can create anything they can imagine. Wait, yeah, that's what it is.
I think this might be a symptom of the message for the moment. Her message might be right for a specific moment, but the message that you can do things within certain limitations is the right message for other moments. So you know, if you see an Oprah quote that's like, you can do anything you set your mind to as long as you believe or something, there might be someone who needs to hear that because they're so negative. Like, oh, I need to shift my point of view to a more hopeful point of view. But you're
just setting them up for a fall.
Well, I'm just saying that there's the right response to a moment could be different in different circumstances. So taking one thing that I'm just giving her a little bit of leeway with that. I tend to agree a little bit more with you, David, but I think she is an aspirational person, and she tries to share that because I think she came from a place where she was told over and over that you can't do it because of this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this. So she's trying to correct for that. And a lot of people need to hear that message that you can't, a more positive message, more,
especially for someone, a figure like her.
Yeah. And for her to say, like, you can do anything you want within reason.
I don't know, but
it's like a little less aspirational.
Also feels very limiting.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's a world in which anyone can do anything, but they need to have the right foundation laid, the right people around. Like there's things that have to be in place. And of course she can't put that all into a quote, because it would be 80 pages long. But
I'm gonna come up with a quote. I'm gonna do it. Okay. I'm gonna come up with
it. We've talked about this, Aaron, where it's like you always hear from all the people who, like, whenever you hear a celebrity being interviewed and it's like, I had $200 left and I was just about to move home and then I got this part.
Mm-hmm.
You always hear the story of the person who made it. You never hear the story of the 10,000 people who ran out of the $200 and had to move home, for example.
No, totally. And being in this business, the three of us have all seen incredibly talented people that we were blown away by, and it just doesn't click for them. For some reason, we love them, other people don't love them, and they're never given a shot. We've all seen it. And it's just, there is a lot of luck involved in success. Go ahead.
Okay. I mean, this could be a whole other podcast. So let's just move on. Because
okay,
you can't just that person you're talking about, you talk about them being given a shot, were they going after their shot? It's like what were they doing or not doing? There's so many factors. Some of it is left.
100%.
It's like how many people
100%.
want to be president. There's probably more people who want to be president than spots to be president.
Well, I would agree with that.
No, there's not, Nathan. There's exactly the amount of people who want to be president that get to be president. There's not.
Oh, okay.
Ask Hillary Clinton.
All right. Oh, poor Hillary.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Now the good.
I don't think we can. In 3 minutes.
You got your medicine. Now you're getting your sugar. All right. I'll start off really fast. She donated $10 million towards COVID relief, and part of that went to feeding people.
Can I just stop you right there?
Yeah, go ahead. What?
I think we can sum this up in 5 seconds.
Go.
The list of causes and charities she's donated to is like you wouldn't have enough time in the day to read through it. So she's done a lot with her money, I guess.
I stopped after 12. I stopped after 12, and then I wrote, she just has done so. She continued, and it doesn't stop. Like from the beginning, she opened her, oh God, she in 1989, she opened something and she's given over $120 million to that. In 2007, she founded the Oprah Winfrey School for Girls and she's given over $140 million to that. Like, it just continues. It's constantly continues. She's opening foundations and helping people and da-da-da and this and that. And apparently, even what people said is with her School for Girls, I thought, oh, she just donated and left. She spends time there. She goes there and she tries to speak to every girl that's enrolled there to find out what they're doing and motivate them.
Yeah.
Yes, the list is endless. If you do your research, and the thing too is like I tried to substantiate it all, and news sources substantiate like all the stuff I found. They're like, yes, she did give this. Yes, she did give that. Yes, she did give that. Yes, she did that. And some of the times there's some of them where she tried not to be known for that, but they found out and they reported it anyways. So like she's not always like, it's not always publicity that she's doing this for. She's just doing it.
Yeah. Most of the stuff I haven't heard of.
Yeah.
Like her resume is insane. It's like the first Black woman to do like everything she did, like just blazing, like breaking through barriers, blazing trails. Like she was like the first Black woman to anchor the news in Nashville, I guess. And then like the networks and her magazine, and like, so the accomplishments are insane. It's hard to deny that. And I couldn't find any dirt on like she like stepped on someone's neck to get ahead. You know, it just seems like she was good and worked hard. And I bring that up because I wanted to compare it to some of the things I learned about her past. Is that her mom had her when she was a teenager. She got pregnant when she was 14 and lost the baby like after it was born.
Oh.
I don't know exactly why. She was sexually abused. You had mentioned that there was some drug issues.
Yeah, she was a drug addict, I believe, briefly.
Like there's just so much going against this person. So that's why like I think if anyone else was giving quotes about like you can do it if you set your mind to it, like shit like that, because sometimes that does rub me the wrong way. But I feel like when Oprah says it, like I can see how she's gotten there, because like she's just like living the quote, like genuinely, like she wasn't handed anything. Like so many people are just given their trust fund and then they're already up here. Like she like clawed her way up and like defied a lot of like racial issues, like in really like hot racial times, and like still persevered. And
I wonder how many people have read more because of her. Just as an example,
her book club.
Yeah, her book club.
Yeah.
Like she just, like just that alone. But in general, like how many people would say that their life has been improved by her? Like that must be astronomical, right? That like where like either their career was launched because of her, or they just had learned something from her, were inspired by her in some way that made their life better.
Yeah.
But it's probably unparalleled.
I will say, far and away, of all her peers, of all the people that had daytime shows and all that stuff, she's far and away the most positive, and she changed the direction of it, kind of. Like things weren't as bad as Ricky Lake and and Jerry Springer before Oprah. Like there was some sensationalism, but Donahue, I don't know if you guys ever saw Donahue, because Donahue is the person she kind of wiped off the mat. He was kind of positive, but she was the most positive of all the daytime shows, maybe of all the talk shows, consistently trying to do, the more upbeat things. And that's kind of why it became a juggernaut. It did become like if she had any backlash or anything, like it just seemed to be on the side. Like it just, from my point of view, it's almost like just Oprah took off. Like there was just always positive feedback on her. And of course there was some racism and stuff over here, but like in the mainstream, it just seemed like everyone always loved her.
It does seem like that. I'm sure that was not her experience in life, but
no, totally.
It seems like across the board, like no one can really say bad things about her.
Yeah. Because even I tried to look up, like, is she a shithead? Is she an asshole? Because then there's even like some stories about how the people who work for her hate her and stuff like that. There aren't that many stories. She does sue. She has sued people for some things they said, but there are also a lot of positive people that had worked for her and said stuff. So we don't know if she's an Ellen DeGeneres, but it doesn't seem like she is that much. Because even like people that had worked for her still like her. I don't know. Like, I wish that someone would come forward and tell us that she was an asshole.
I feel like it would have broken by now. Like,
yeah,
it broke on Ellen. You know, I feel like Oprah's been around long enough that we would have heard if there was something so damning, if there was so many skeletons, or there's something really horrendous. I feel like it would have been out by now.
If she ever decides to run for office, it would come out. Maybe that's why she decided to run.
And with Ellen,
disappeared. She kind of has regressed back from the spotlight over the last 15 years. So she got out of the way of all this cancel culture chaos that's kind of occurred.
Smart, right? Like, again, like just another example of her just being smart, being a smart business person.
And I will say she's a damn good actress.
Get back and live your life.
Yeah, she is a great actress.
I wish. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
I mean, she got nominated for an Oscar, and she's produced some really cool content. She was like the voices of someone in Charlotte's Web, which I didn't know, and someone from Tiana, the first Black princess movie, which was also groundbreaking. So of course she'd be a part of it.
Of course, yeah. It's the first person you ask.
Yeah. Color Purple, pretty awesome.
And an interesting throwback on the episode of Ellen where Ellen came out, Oprah played her therapist and helped her to come out. And she was the first one Ellen came out to on the show.
And then Ellen got canceled.
No, Ellen didn't get canceled. I saw.
Like, literally.
No, but what I'm saying is it was in its sixth year. Like people act like wait a minute. I just want to put this.
Yeah.
I just want to put this to rest because I saw a thing on it when I was compiling my information on Oprah. They're like, yeah, Ellen came out and then her show got canceled because of it. No, the show had already run 5 years when she came out. It ran another year, which 6 years for a sitcom is a long time. Watch that season after Ellen came out. It kind of meanders and it's not great. She got canceled because it had run its course.
Okay.
That's all.
She was ready for bigger and better things, and
so shut up.
I guess,
shut up.
I don't know.
Are we gonna vote? Oh wait.
Yeah.
Oh my God. We have our first comment. Oh my God. Seabacter Traveler says, it feels strange to me that you would take the one Black woman to dissect in the way. Black History Month is a few days, and I think you should do better.
I wonder why I'm curious why we shouldn't do this challenge to a Black woman.
Well, first of all, we gave it. Oh,
I feel like we're all about to vote that she's the shit, but maybe not. Maybe not.
We'll find out.
Wait a minute, Seabacter Traveler. I think. Well, first of all, we put polls out on all of our social media between Madonna and Oprah. And the reason I picked Oprah, as I said in the beginning, is because there was like this rumblings about her. And I thought, is Oprah the shit? Because we said in the beginning that we all thought she was the shit. And we wanted to find out because behind every famous person, there's always stories. And a lot of them are going down.
Billionaires in particular are kind of our targets now. If you haven't kind of noticed the trajectory we're on with Elon Musk, Oprah, Jeff Bezos is coming up. So we're kind of dabbling in that world.
I mean, is having $1 billion even a reasonable thing for anyone to do?
Well, I mean, for someone like Oprah, it seems like she's being very charitable with it, which is like what I would hope I would do if I was a billionaire, is help the world and give it away.
Yeah.
You don't need all that.
And if you listen to it, we didn't really dissect. We came up with the bad things about Oprah and we kind of dispelled them because they weren't really bad things. People said bad things, but then it ended up not being bad things. And then we said that she has such a long list of good things that she's done that we can't even go through them all.
But I don't know.
We can.
I guess I don't know like why we're not able to talk about a Black woman. Is it just because we're not Black women, Black people?
I think
this is like a genuine question I'm having.
Yeah, it's a good question, and I don't want to put any words into CB Actor Traveler's mouth, but that statement to me sounds like we're making a target of a Black woman, the Black woman, right before Black History Month. But I don't feel like we're making a target of her. Personally.
I think we've kind of sung her praises, like in every.
We haven't voted yet. Maybe we should vote because we're
all right
at the end of our time now. So.
Well, CB Actor Traveler, tell us why, and we're gonna vote. All right.
Yeah, I honestly love to hear more about that thought, and because if we are doing anything insensitive, I'd like to be aware of that and be more thoughtful in the future. But I'd also, anyway, so.
And that's open if you get back to us during the show, or if you want to reach out to us otherwise.
Email us, text us, whatever. Good conversation to have. I'm happy to vote right now because I feel like my opinion was made up pretty early on. If you haven't been able to tell, I was pretty much defending her the entire time. I think she's the shit. I think she is the role model that people want her to be and that she has been to people. I am just insanely impressed with how she's risen throughout her life and the accomplishments she's had. I think she deserves the wealth the wealth that she has. I think she's charitable with the wealth that she has. I think she's smart and talented, and I don't know. She's the shit. You guys go.
She's the shit.
Yeah, I think all in all, when all is said and done, she's the shit. I think that she has had a positive influence on this world, and she's been a great representation. I think the one thing that I wish she would have done differently is called Jenny McCarthy on the carpet. Other than that, I mean, if that's the one black mark against her, then yeah. I think all in all, she's shit. I think she's been a positive role model.
Oh, we got more.
CB Actor Traveler says, Black women are the most maligned in this country. I think it's odd you would make that choice. Well, first of all, we didn't malign her today. And second of all, like I said, we put it between Oprah and Madonna. They wanted Madonna, and I said, let's have the people vote, our listeners vote for it. And they voted for Oprah.
It was Democratic.
And the reason we picked her is because we thought she was the shit. There were these rumblings on social media, and I thought, is any of this true? That's what I wanted to find out if any of it's true. And we found out that none of it was true, CB Actor Traveler. We haven't maligned her. We've maligned Madonna. I've maligned Madonna in this very episode.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to do Madonna. But like I said, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to keep defending this choice to choose Oprah. I thought this was really interesting. It was really interesting to go through all of her life and her pros and cons. And I think that the conclusion that we've come to is accurate. And I don't know. So that's where I stand on it.
Yeah, CB Actor Traveler, if you have any more specifics that you want to point out, that would be great to hear from you. But I think we're near the end of that.
Yeah, and if there's for future, I mean, we have a list of people we want to keep doing. I think we would need to know if certain people need to be off the table for certain reasons, and if we are unable to do research and talk about certain people because of certain reasons. If that is the case, I don't think we're aware of it, so we would need to be made aware of it. So if there's any other feedback of, hey, you shouldn't be talking about this type of person at this time of the year, then hey, bring it on.
I don't think it's odd to talk about Oprah just because she's so in our popular culture. She is such a big personality, and she's put herself there. She's put herself in front of us for the last 40 years. So she's as game as anyone else to be discussed. The setup of our show is are they a piece of shit or are they the shit? I mean, that's there's no nuance to that. But that's a gimmick.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And we'd also like to hear from the listeners. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's it is a gimmick. Obviously there's a ton of gray area with every human being because no one is black and white. But for this type, particular challenge, for this particular type of show, we're making it black and white. Like, so I hope that people understand that nuance.
And we also want to hear from the listeners. Who do you want us to put through this? Do you want Madonna?
We have a number.
Sorry.
What we should probably do is another poll, because we have a list of people that we want to take this challenge. So we should take a few of them and put it out there and see what people want next. They wanted Oprah. We gave them Oprah.
Oprah. I want Tom Cruise, but
I know.
But Nathan wanted to wait on that.
We can do Tom Cruise. He's the shit. I mean, it's going to be a stupid. It would be a stupid. Actually, I wanted to talk about him and really. I forgot.
Oh yeah, because
his career was almost destroyed by being on her show.
Wait, it was destroyed by him though, like by his actions.
I know.
By his actions, and it wasn't. Wait, and it wasn't only his. It was like 3 or 4 different appearances on Matt Lauer, attacking Brooke Shields. Right. Like he did 3 or 4 crazy cuckoo head things.
He was on a roll at that time.
Yeah, let's talk about that, and we can. I mean, I think you guys are forgetting a lot of things we talked about that, and you guys have faulted him for on this program. You guys are forgetting some of the things he's done.
You're saying that I'm gonna vote that he's the shit. Like, come on, I feel like I'm the biggest sway vote here. Like, David, I know where you stand. I know where you stand, but like me, you need me. So you gotta convince me.
All right. Well, we got to wrap this episode.
We do. Okay. Thank you, everyone. I hope your brunch was delicious.
And we're sorry, CB Actor Traveler. We meant nothing by it, and I'm sorry if we offended you. We did not mean to do that. We did mean to offend Madonna, however, and I will continue to do so without fail.
David, you'd be happy to learn that her biopic has been canceled by whatever studio is going to make it.
She canceled it. She canceled it. She canceled it. And you know why she canceled it?
No.
For the same reason. Well, Aaron, it reminded me of Aaron because Aaron worked on a project, and I won't say what it is, but the person who was doing it wanted all positives, and Aaron was like, well, we got to show the other side of it because people wanted the other side to be shown about Madonna. She's like, no, I control it, and she canceled it because she didn't want anything negative shown about her. She's fucking Donald Trump. Madonna is the Donald Trump of white women.
We'll put her back in the mix for a future POS or the shit challenge.
All right, what's that?
Congratulations, Oprah. You are the shit.
You're the shit. We all think you're amazing. And I just want to say that you can twat us on Twitter and Insta and da-da-da. But you people...
Wrap it up, David. David, wrap it up.
Yeah,
I know I am. I am the shit. The things I post on there, I've posted some of the Academy of No Particular Arts and Sciences gave me an Oscar for my last reel, and no one liked it. So you can go to hell. And I just want to say to everyone, oh God, wait, I just got to say to everyone, I'm never prepared. Hold on. That, oh my God. I just want to say that beat it, bitch.